Hey guys, Dr. Prometheus here. Welcome to our Final Fantasy 16 100% run. We're going to do all the side quests, all the hunts, everything the game has to offer, as well as this also serving as your intro and outro. So if you're liking this playthrough, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Check out everything else on the channel. Leave a like below. And without further ado, let's get right into some Final Fantasy 16. Thanks, guys. Bro, did another one just... Oh my god, you gotta be shitting me. Another quest just popped up.
Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution, and I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate turned Liberator.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his, but yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward Rockford from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
No. No, I don't... I just want to turn in the other quests. Well, it should
And
teleport me
how,
back,
pray
so...
tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with Akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. 2 such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends? I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw.
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will. Well, my boy, the stage is set.
that it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
What do you think that thing is?
It's a damn mother crystal. Okay, so let's turn these two in and then go talk to damn.
You should have seen
Go
it.
get the missive.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yes. Welcome back. Trip wasn't too much of a pain in the arse, I hope. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in to help with the trial. But from what I hear, things didn't go quite as planned.
No, they most certainly did not. Ember lost his nerve in the face of a beast of prey, but he didn't lose heart. He pressed on, and he achieved his aim. And is that not what we ask of our scouts?
Indeed it is. Thank you for your honest appraisal, Sid. The fact remains, however, that Ember will not always have a battle-hardened warrior on hand to pluck him from the jaws of peril. All I have gleaned from this trial is that without someone watching his back, Ember is little more than a liability.
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still has much to learn, it's true. And this time he was found wanting. But I'd say he's due a second chance, nonetheless. After all, he did do as you asked.
With a bit of hard work, any hand can be made to hold a blade, and any mind can conquer its fears. But a scout's nose is different. You've either got one, or you ain't. And by sniffing out that log, young Ember here has shown he has a conch and a half. Wouldn't do to waste it now, would it?
Fine. One more chance.
I'll do whatever you ask. I'll spend my days and nights in the pit if I have to. I'll show you. Just you wait.
Daft as a brush, that one. But his heart's in the right place. just like someone else we know. And if you ask me, we've been leaning on him for far too long. That time the curse breakers took some of the weight off his shoulders, I reckon.
It couldn't hurt.
Just don't tell Gav I said so, will you? I won't have him thinking he's been hard done by. Next thing you know, he'll be asking for a day off. Chance would be a fine thing. Back to work.
Alright, so we have to turn this into mid, and then we have another missive.
This did not play out as I expected.
No, it did not.
Things really do these days. But that's why we need men like Ember more than ever. Men who can make the best out of a bad situation. Remember that.
I will, Sid. Thank you.
Maybe we go see what the missive is. So in case we have to leave again, we could just leave and then we have another one to turn in. Okay, these should be the last two quests. Oh my.
You alright? About that.
If there's anything I can do to help you kill this Ultima bloke, you just say the word, eh? You can promise to take Sid's name off my hands. But what?
Aye.
Don't even joke about that. Anyway, I thought you said you hadn't finished with it yet. I did, didn't I? Now, if you wanted to give me an even grander title, something to rival your Sid the Outlaw, that'd be a different story.
Let's see.
Gav the Magnificent, Gav the Almighty, Gav the Lionheart, something along those lines. I'll leave that to you to decide. I'm sure you're more than capable of choosing a perfect moniker for Sid's right hand man. Right hand, eh? I'll take it. Silver linings.
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just... Etta's baby will be coming soon and I wanted to make something for it.
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north, families would always make gifts when a bairn was on the way. Yeah, let the little tykes know they were welcome in their new homes like.
So, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that Etta's due any day now. And I don't know if I'll be ready in time.
Of course.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You know, there just might be.
All right then. What exactly are we making?
A good luck charm. But not just any good luck charm.
Not just any.
No. One made from the feather of a silver chocobo. There's naught lucky in all the realm, or so we used to say back home anyway. Thing is, they're hard to come by. Had Otto and Karen check with their suppliers, but nothing. I'd try and track one down myself, only...
Only the big day is fast approaching. And that's all you need. A feather.
That or the bird whose arse it's attached to, aye. I was gonna start by asking around with traveling traders plying the northern borders.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha's. I think I might make that my first port of call. I'll let you know if I find anything.
You're a good friend, Clive. I won't forget this.
Are these the last two missions, please? Okay, it's Jill. I'm not angry. It's Jill. Alright, whole again. It occurs to me that the single word of thanks does not nearly suffice to express my gratitude for uniting me from a distance. The tome made me who I am today, and yet I thought I should never set eyes upon it again. And those who took it from me had forever robbed me of a part of myself. But now I am whole again thanks to you. I regret that I can only fill in the gaps in your knowledge and not the holes in your soul. For which reason I shall be ever in your debt, Vivian. That which conquers all. Here, not long removed from when last you placed yourself between us and peril, I sit and pen another letter in which I try to find the words to somehow express the gratitude of an entire town. Still, something feels different about their latest triumph. Where in the past we leaned ever so heavily upon your good graces, this time we found strength elsewhere in ourselves. Our hardship has shown us that which should have been apparent all along, we are not as different as we want to believe. Does the peasant love his homeland any less than a noble? Does the bear love his family any less than any other man does his own? It is this love that has united us and given us true strength. Should every thrall, Akashic bandit, and brigand in the realm come trudging at our gates, we will not fret, we will not falter, we will fight. Isabel. Before we depart, you have my sincerest gratitude for reuniting me with Master Harpo. I love the fact that it's Harpocrates because it makes me think of Socrates from what is that? Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventure. I can't see it. But that I might embark upon this most important of journeys, a heart free of regret. Though in these past few meetings I have come to realize that the longer I spend in the company of you and your brother, the deeper I find myself in your debt. I must swiftly see to the menace that is Ultima, if not to save the world, to save me from an eternity of recompense. Safe returns. Thank you, Clive, for never indulging the whims of this doddering old soul. I'm ashamed that for far too many years I allowed stubbornness and fear to keep me from something so simple as letting a friend know how proud I was of him. Your intervention has lifted a heavy pall from my heart. Perhaps upon your triumphant return from the skies, you might be inclined to set a page that quill I gifted you. There are many of us who would hear a first-hand account of your time with the Holy Prince, myself included. A new day. I'm not so foolish to believe that a single shaming at the hands of the town urchins can dispel a lifetime of hatred built up in one's heart, just as a pot cannot be made clean by reminding it of its grime. It takes effort, persistence, and more often than not, a stiff brush and a bucket of lye. But more than that, it takes time. Fortunately, your courage and leadership has granted us just that. We must now decide whether to embrace or waste it. A wise man once said the night is always darkest before the dawn. It is a good thing I can count one who burns so bright among my friends. A note of thanks. Lord Marquise, I write to thank you for the kind consideration you have shown for those names are written within the pages of the Book of Martyrs. I know that it would move them deeply to know that the first shield of Phoenix laments their passing. Though each and every member of our order stands ready to sacrifice their lives in the service of the Phoenix, I do not doubt that those who are taken before their time go with regret for the long years of duty left undone. That they should live on in the memory of a proud son of House Hartfield such as yourself surely go somewhere to soothing their sorrows. May the Phoenix's flame ever burn ever in your heart. Okay, my beloved sons. That was the one of from our father. The wages of fate. Do you remember what you told me that night at Phoenix Gate? That while the fate of Rosaria sits on my shoulders, the fate of its dominance sits upon yours. But are we not both dominants of fire? Does not the flame of our forebears burn in both our hearts? Should I not protect you as you have protected me? You have chosen to be my shield. Now let me choose to be yours. Is this not what our father wanted? What Sid wanted? To cast aside fate and forge our own paths. Grant me this, Clive. Let me be your strength. Joshua. Okay. Concern for Jill. Though her icon brought her much suffering, the loss of Shiva weighs heavy on her heart. We would be poor friends indeed if we did not seek to lighten that burden, even but only a fraction. Before we depart for the skies, I would speak on this more in private. Poor friends? Me and Jill got it going on, Joshua.
Was worried about Jill. I should go and speak with him.
There's more stuff going on. Alright, so I'm gonna give this to mid to turn in. And then from there, I'm going to do this one because I want to do this one Jill like all in a line. Because Jill's a girl and that's one thing we want to do. I don't want to skip around with this quest. This might be particularly important.
Miss Shirley says we're not allowed in the dungeon.
Give these to mid.
Mid? Tell me this is all you need.
Aw, you make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me this is all you need.
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realized I'd forgotten a 1 and a 0. And a cogwheel. Just a tiny one. Though, that's the problem. Gears that small are a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortnight toiling over.
Wait. The children. When they took apart your scales, there was a tiny brass gear. Now that I think about it, they didn't use it when we put the scales back together.
The young'uns? But why would the... You know what? I don't want to know. I'll keep working on the model. You go and find that cog.
Yeah. Give me that cog, children.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Sid, is Mid still hiding from us?
She wasn't hiding. She's fine. She's just busy working on her next project.
A new invention? What is it? What is it? Is it an airship? I bet it's an airship!
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. She needs something special, something only you three can provide. A brass gear. A tiny one. One that might fit on, say, a set of scales?
Oh, the one you forgot! We remember!
We saved it, just in case. It's in the bag of bits.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then reassembling everything we can find. All the pieces that are left over, we keep under our beds, just in case.
That's good to know.
Look! I found it! Is that all? Just the gear? We have more parts if Mid needs them.
That's all for now. But I'll let Mid know about your hoard. Just in case.
Thanks, Sid.
Kids just taking stuff apart and they're like, there's extra pieces here. No, those pieces are supposed to be on the thing.
Well, did they have it?
They did. And they kept it somewhere nice and safe. Will it work?
Will it work? He's perfect! You're a genius, Clive.
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most important job of all. The wings aren't going to move on their own, but with the right cog in the right place, well, you just wait and see.
Bro, I want to see what this looks like. There better be some cutscene of this thing flying.
That should do it. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes. Children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head? Or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
But are you going to make a flying machine?
Of course, if I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, I'll still need to make it a treasure worth hunting for. Won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat fly after all. My dad always said, dream big. But it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? Only that it's a good one. And I reckon I've got a fair few good uns left in me.
I'm sure you do.
Okay.
What shall I do with your model? You spent a lot of time on it. We both did.
What, that old thing? Not healthy to cling to your failures, Clive. They'll weigh you down, you know.
Sound advice.
Still, I suppose my prototypes will probably be worth a fair bit when I'm as famous as Bart's the Builder. Seeing as you're always strapped for coin, suppose I can give it to you. Just make sure you get a good price when you do come to part with it.
I'd say that was up to you as much as me.
All right, Clive.
Could you have chosen somewhere a bit more down to earth for your chat with Ultima? Then I could have come with you. Finally made a name for myself instead of sitting on my arse while his Imperial Fancy Pants gets all the glory.
Make a name for yourself.
Without the Enterprise, we wouldn't have saved Jill. Wouldn't have made it to Ash. Wouldn't have escaped from Stonehair with our lives. None of this would have been possible had you not followed your dream and kept your promise to Sid. Now I must keep mine.
You better bloody had to and all.
Or I'll be having his name back. Give it to Gab, maybe, or Jill. I definitely Jill. I would agree. Ask about the Enterprise.
Enjoy it while you can, Clive.
Because once that crystal's cracked, I'm going through with my plan. Won't be easy turning my back on the dream I chased for so long. But you know what the best thing about dreams is? They're never in short supply. We keep talking like I'm the only one to ever have set their sights on the skies when there might be someone up there already.
Imagine that, eh?
And maybe his Imperial Fancy Pants gets back. I can ask him to take me up there so I can see for myself. Till then, though, I'll be down here with everyone else, dreaming away.
Draw, Clive.
Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me. I'm looking for something.
Oh, well, then I'm your man.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. Though you're not the first to mention the bird around here. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago, claiming he was attacked by a silver chocobo. Near some gutted hovel, not far from Eastpool. Most took him for a braggart and a liar, but who knows? Perhaps there was some truth to his tale.
We'll see. Thank you.
You look like you could do with a drink.
Ask about Martha's past.
When I was a little girl,
My family owned a bear. They let her sleep in a corner of the barn and had her play with me and teach me letters. We never ate together or slept under the same roof, but even so, she was like family. I was with her on the day she died. She held me in her arms and whispered in my ear, "My darling Martha, I'm so glad you didn't awaken." It was only years later I found out she wasn't just a servant, she was my grandmother.
my grandmother.
And I watched her die in the corner of the barn, a pile of old straw.
I swore then and there.
I was going to do everything in my power to bring an end to all of this. To never stop fighting until the day when bears can live free, just like she deserved to. And you know what? When I see that glint in your eyes, I reckon that day might come along sooner than I dared to hope. Okay, ask about the Guardians. For long after Rosalith got ransacked, that Sir Wade and his men turned up at our gates begging for shelter.
Put the wind right up us.
It did. The state of them, all dressed in filthy rags, we were worried they might be cutthroats come to thieve and pillage. But some of the folk they'd help escape from the capital recognized them and set us right.
And thank goodness they did.
I couldn't have dreamed of better guests than the Guardians. The way they took the bears under their wing and taught the Blood Axes how to fight like true shields of Rosaria. And when night fell and they'd all gather around the bonfire to sing songs of the old duchy, well, it was enough to bring a tear to your eye.
Like being back in the glory days.
It was with them the knights in shining armor come riding to the rescue.
Half of me wishes they hadn't left.
For Eastpool, but the other half knows they're better off up there and they're only a stone's throw away if we need them. And we're just down here if they ever need us, because that's what Rosaria is all about. Not pretty knights and mooning maidens, but proud, hardworking men and women helping one another out. Okay, ask about the rest.
It ain't exactly a bed of roses.
Right now, we've got Aether floods cropping up all over, new arrivals turning up at the gates near every day, begging us to take them in. Ever since the skies turned, it's been a struggle just to survive, but you won't hear any of us complaining. Not least because we're finally free of the Empire's grip. The garrison's been pulled back east, and the few remaining Black Shields have gone with them. Which also means we don't have to fare for our bearers no more. We can even treat them like human beings they are, just like they're doing up in Eastpool.
And that's just the start.
If we can make a good go of Eastpool, it'll show the rest of the realm you can live without magic, without slaves, that we can all be free. Okay.
Stop by for an ale any time, eh? Just because the heavens have gone to rack and ruin, it don't mean we have to.
How do, traveller? You've the look of a man who could do with a new whetstone. Or perhaps a bawdy etching of the Vicereine.
Maybe another time. I'm looking for a silver chocobo feather.
If that's the case, rumors are all you're likely to find. No one has seen a silver chocobo for years. Word is they were all hunted for their feathers. Some northern nonsense about bringing good luck. Didn't bring them much, nor their bows. If any are still out there, I reckon they'll be doing their damnedest not to be discovered.
You're probably right. Thank you anyway.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Can I help you with something?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver chocobo feathers, would you?
I deal in fruit, not fancies. But if it's fancies you're after, I suggest you try Rhiannon's ride.
Was a silver chocobo seen there?
Oh, yes. If you believe the ravings of a madman.
It wouldn't be the first time. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rhiannon's Ride.
Okay.
Tracks. They're not left by bandits for a change. More tracks. And these look fresh. The chocobo was here. And recently. Perhaps it still is.
It's its nest, though.
Well, I'll be damned. It's all right. I'm not going to hurt you. Just borrowing a feather for my friend. Thank you. Let's get this back to Gav before they change their minds.
Hey, can we tell the Can we tell the Guardians of the Flame to come down here and protect these silver chocobos?
It was no trouble. Clive, you're back. How'd you get on? Any luck?
Any luck, you say?
Of course.
Crystal's crack. Is this what I think it is? Where in the hell did you find it?
It's a long story.
Right there on the road to Eastpool. Who'd have thought it?
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter. Though I fear my presence may have forced the poor creatures to look elsewhere.
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before long, even if you hadn't have turned up. They'll find a new home. Trust me. After all, that's what us endangered animals do. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about me. Like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with a sword. And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with. What did you say it was from again? An Avis?
But it weren't your Avis, Sid. I slew one of my own at last.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit. I'm proud of you, Ember.
Don't speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go. What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
Oh, will I? I should go and see if Ed is awake.
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself. Come on.
Yes, my lord?
Ask about Joshua.
His Grace and I.
Often spoke in our travels, and certain saying of his remains with me even now. Duty is the enemy of freedom.
At first.
I thought he spoke of his own plight. That though he was able to roam the land again, his duty to unearth the truth about Ultima prevented him from being truly free. I came to understand that he spoke not of himself, but of me.
It was my duty to him.
That his Grace judged to be insult to my own freedom? I'm not sure what that is. Against. I believe that this is why he bade me remain here, that I might at last be released from my duties to him. Few others in this position will allow the cares of a humble attendant to weigh so heavily upon them, nor take such drastic action in response.
My lord.
You're resolved to go then?
I am.
And so is Joshua. I know you fear for him, but I'll do everything in my power to keep him safe.
I do not doubt it.
You are, as you've always been, his first shield. I was only ever his temporary protector. Now his grace has bade me protect the hideaway instead, and that is what I shall do.
Thank you, Yode.
May you return safely.
To us, my lord, both of you.
May the Firebird's flame burn ever in your heart.
Ah, me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is something wrong?
Wrong? No, nothing like that. What it is...
Go on, please. It's beautiful. Did you make it?
We did. Aye. It's from all of us here at the Hideaway. Your new family, like. It's a good luck charm. We may come up north when a band's on the way. I mean a baby. To let him know that they're part of the family too. Oh, I hope you like it.
I don't know what to say. I thank you, my lords. For everything.
If there's anything you need, just let us know.
I will.
Clive, fancy a swift off? I'm thirsty.
I could be convinced. Don't you think you've had enough?
No, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day, my mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over, what with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother. Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. My whole family gone in a blink, while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout? Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learned from it. And here you are after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
you may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty. Better get back to work anyway. After I walk this off. Clive,
What is it?
thanks for, you know.
I know.
All right, let's talk to Joshua about Jill, and that should be the last one. Hopefully, that is the last quest.
Do you think they'll come back?
Of course they will. It's just a big...
Joshua, I read your message. You're right. Jill is different. I don't think I'd realized how different, but since we returned from Drake's spine, I've felt it more and more.
I suppose it's not hard to imagine why.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still one of us. To let her know that we still need her, now more than ever. That you still need her. But how to do that? When last we were truly close, we were but children.
Bro, we spent time with Jill on a beach. Bro, come on.
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy? And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill.
To see the snow daisies, I remember. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire retinue down to the pot boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it halfway there. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business. What do you say?
Man's Hill. It's not that far.
Oh, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria remains as it was when we were children.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, thank God. It's like right next to this. Womp, womp, womp.
This is the place, but...
I'm sorry, Clive.
Has nowhere been spared. What do we do now?
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies grow.
Perhaps, but... it's the only place I know of. Knew of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone at the backyard? To the hideaway, then.
Hippocrates, maybe?
Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
Okay, let's grab this since we're here. I think this might be the last one.
How may I help you today, Clive?
Unsigned. Every epic starts with a single word. Every sympathy is a single note. This is but the beginning, and forever shall your legend be told. Forever shall your legacy be sung.
You earned this. Come again. I may have more for you.
All right, so that's it for that. That's done. Let's not look at our missives, and let's not do anything with Hippocrates until we leave. We'll do that right before we leave. There's still some that I didn't buy, probably.
Say what you will.
Okay. Let us see. And this is slowly turning into a legit garden.
Oh. What brings you down from the heavens, Cid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in Sembrak.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she kept the record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Oilafeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
We'll go through Northreach, go north.
And how might I help the garrison today?
Man, it's a longish quest. And once I'm done with this, I won't do the thoughts video until tomorrow, probably.
Those things didn't fight like men.
Don't care about said raptor.
The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
There they are.
Do you see them?
I do. The flowers. Our friends. What do you see, boy? Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out.
Okay.
That was harder than I expected. But Founder, it was worth it. They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on. Let's go.
Brother, don't be trying to steal my girl. Come on, man. Come on.
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you.
Yes, it is.
You and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
Is that a keying on something? Not sure if I understand what that was a reference to. I get a couple missives here. Treasure hunt. What? You didn't think I was just going to... I was just saying that stuff about hiding my engine, did you? Wouldn't you know? I've already a fine spot picked out and everything, but if you're going to go on this grand adventure, you'll need to be quick about your business with that ruddy god of yours. Take too long, somebody more clever might beat you to the prize. I suppose in that case, I could bury you one of my lesser inventions. Goddess knows I've countless. The Trinity. Bringing together 3 men from different backgrounds was not to be without some difficulty. However, come together we did for a better Valisthea. So the Triunity was but a first step. A longer, more bitter journey awaits us all, one that will almost certainly end in hardship. Yet what matters most is not the destruction, but what we can learn from one another while on the road there. You have paved the road for us with your courage, Clive. Now we must have the courage to walk it. Okay, and the hideaway welcome, or a hideaway welcome. Edda seems fond of the silver bow we gave her. So much so she's been taking to setting it atop her belly as she rests. Hear her tell it the rascal kicks something fierce when she does too. Sounds like we're another fighter in our hands, and none too soon. I can hardly wait to teach our newest little cursebreaker everything I know. Though I suppose we can all celebrate first. No need to get ahead of ourselves now. Yeah, there's no need. How many more do I need? It's probably just one, right? A couple. I'm not sure what we're missing. We're missing a couple. One's probably with Jill.
Jill, there's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you, Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped. So lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling. Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the Tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have.
Isn't what? Not the twins. We're not gonna go back to Rosaria? Come on, girl. Come on.
And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
Although it is Joshua's, so it makes sense.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure.
That was a good one. I'm glad I did that quest all in one right there.
We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
Do you all see that mother crystal back there? I'm not crazy, right? There's a mother crystal in the background. Bro, there's a mother crystal over here. All right, we have to go back and talk to Tomes before we do this. All right, everything's complete. Let's talk to Tomes, and I don't know what the other one was that we needed to do. Missives. It was near our missives, yes. Let's go over with the letters in the back. Mrs. probably with Jill. So we'll see if there's anything else we can blacksmith. And then we're ready to do this. The greatest gift. It feels like a lifetime ago. It was a lifetime ago. That afternoon on Man's Hill was our very first adventure. But somehow I know even then that it would not be our last. I will never forget that day and the simple fact that you have not either filled my heart with joy so fierce I cannot describe it. Since the moment we first met, you have always been an important part of me. The half that makes me whole. When times are darkest, you are my light. When I am lost, you are my guiding star. You have what I need. You are just what I need. You are all that I need. You are the greatest gift. Jill. I am your... What is that star called? Metea? Metea. What are the Wall of Memories? Which ones are we missing? So the last one is the time trials. We're not doing that. What's the one before that? Celestial. Man, Scholar's Bonnet. We had the Scholar's Bonnet, right? Yes. Model airship Winter Mead. Did the Winter Mead. Rusted Battle Helm. What the clay? I have the clay hearth. The veil. What's the veil? What? Hold on, there's one I'm missing. I'm missing one of the memories. Just in order. Okay, it is. What is after the Winter Mead? Okay, the last one I just need to talk to Taya. Okay. And it shows up. And that's if I ever want to get the other ones. I'm not going to do the time trial stuff. I might make ourselves a separate save at this point. So if I want to do New Game Plus, I can do the time trials, beat the game again, and then we're on to New Game Plus and do that. I think that's probably the best thing to do. And maybe that isn't even the biggest thing. But maybe once we're done with everything.
Taya's tea stopped the fits.
Clive, I wanted to give you something for the kindness you showed my mentor.
What's this?
A chest of all the medicines you're ever likely to need. Seeing as you're so reluctant to come to the infirmary, I thought you might as well take a part of the infirmary with you.
Very well.
I'm sure it will be very helpful indeed. And Taya, try not to work too hard.
And work Rodrigue all the harder, you mean? He's a quick study, but he's got a long way to go yet. I'll take that particular piece of advice when you heed it yourself, thank you very much. Besides, who else is going to see that your brother takes his medicine?
Who indeed?
Okay, there it is. We have the last one. We'll look at that missive, then we have to talk to Tomes, and then we are officially good to go and beat the game. After we do an extra save, just in case. Tomes is this way? No, that's the missive. I just want to select the missive. It's a medicine box from Taya. The last one's the time trial. We're not going to mess with that because I know Garuda is going to make me angry, and so will Titan. Okay. Go talk to Tomes. I don't think this is gonna 100% for Tomes though. Did I already talk to our uncle?
Clive, my boy. Do you know what? 'Twas not
Yeah, I already.
your mother, but above all. And so you see. Well,
I'm pretty sure we already looked through all that. That was about the fact that his mother betrayed her because that was something his father wanted to do. I don't know why it didn't click. We looked through that last time.
When next you'd visit.
Alright, ask about Dion.
I well recall.
The time I spent at the Imperial Palace instructing a young prince in the history of our realm. It was quite unlike the other noble-born children I had taught, but only for the keenness for which he listened, but for the earnest of his conviction.
He truly believed
That it was the Emperor's duty to serve the people and was determined to study the past that he might not repeat its mistakes. Which is the reason why what befell Twinside weighs so heavily on his soul. We must live with the consequences, and I fear it will take more than merely time to heal such wounds.
it will take forgiveness.
Not from you or me or his countrymen, nor even from his late father, no.
From himself.
Only then might his flower bloom again. Okay.
I have a few.
I don't think that's going to give it. I'm not sure what max level is for tomes. There it is.
There is a rather fascinating
We got it.
I've been meaning to show you.
That's everything. The ancient civilization of the godlike Ultima Collective. Their discovery of magic helped them to thrive, but it came at a terrible cost. The onset of the Blight. After their cities fell and their people perished, the few survivors fled to the untouched land of Valistia to lay groundwork for their future revival. Yep. The far predate those of the fallen. That is okay. It used to be a mother crystal there.
If you have a question for me, I should be happy to answer it.
Okay. From the Paradise Ultima seeks summon and creation, one free from the Blight, it almost ended his race. Though Barnabas believed that he and his fellow faithful would be allowed to join his deity there, he's mistaken. Only Ultima and his kin shall have a place in this new paradise, a paradise free not only from the Blight, but from humanity. For Ultima uses mythos to describe the vessel he has long awaited. Logos indicates its blasphemy form or vessel over which the will of another has complete claim, making of itself a false god. Okay.
You are always welcome.
So I wonder if someone was Ifrit before and that he merged with the Phoenix, and that is what ultimately dealt the blow. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna make an extra save here. Level 50, we're at the max level. We have maxed everything. It is time to do this.